Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We sift through the noise, bring you the essentials fast. Today, we're plunging into something that's, well, often the unsung hero of really solid software. Test data generation tools. If you've ever, wrestled with getting applications, databases, complex systems going for prime time, making sure they can really handle anything from a trickle of users to a full-blown stress test, then you know the challenge. We've pulled together a comprehensive deep dive from our sources, looking at the top tools, and we're ready to unpack it.
Exactly. And at its heart, a test data generator is really a specialized piece of software. Its job to automatically create these huge intelligent data sets just for testing. And it's not just about random numbers or, strings. The real trick, the important part, is that these tools shape data values that authentically mirror your production environment. Even if you have no existing data to start with, which is pretty amazing, think about simulating real user interactions, complex workflows, those really tricky edge cases, but without having to painstakingly craft every single piece of data by hand. That's how you make testing efficient, yes, but also truly comprehensive.
Okay, let's unpack that nuance a bit more. You said it's not just arbitrary data, sensible data values that look like production data. Why is that distinction, creating the synthetic data that mimics real-world conditions, why is that so incredibly important, especially for someone who, already knows their way around a test environment?
Well, what's fascinating here is how directly this impacts application resilience and overall quality. Imagine trying to manually create data for, say, 10,000 concurrent users logging in. And each one has unique profiles, purchase histories, different locations.
Right, that sounds like a nightmare.
It's not just tedious, it's practically impossible to get truly comprehensive coverage like that without a tool. Test data generators are absolutely crucial because they let you automatically simulate that exact kind of complexity in minutes, maybe hours, not weeks. So you expand your test coverage way beyond what you could ever do manually.
Okay.
And the real game changer, you can quickly spin up these realistic complex scenarios, maybe even fill in missing data points, and critically do it all without ever touching or exposing sensitive production data.
Ah, the security angle.
Yeah. This just dramatically speeds up testing and ultimately elevates application quality.
So, okay, we get what they are and why they're such a game changer. But there are so many options out there. How do you even begin to choose the right one for your specific needs? Our source material laid out some critical factors for selection. Let's walk through what really matters here.
Absolutely. When you're evaluating these tools, you really need a systematic lens. Let's start with, say, ease of use and integration capabilities.
Okay.
A user-friendly interface isn't just, nice to have. It genuinely boosts productivity. It slashes the learning curve for your team. You want engineers spending time testing, right? Not fighting with the tool.
Makes sense.
And integration. Well, that's pretty much non-negotiable today. Can this tool seamlessly plug into your existing testing frameworks, your CI/CD pipelines, other dev tools? If it can't integrate smoothly, you're just creating more friction. You're solving one problem and creating another.
Yeah, absolutely. No one wants another isolated silo in their workflow. What other factors did our sources really emphasize for someone trying to make a smart choice here?
Okay, next up, you should consider reporting and analytics. And of course, security options.
Right.
Does the tool actually give you insights into the data generation process itself? You want logs, you want reports, metrics, things that help you understand what data was generated, how it was generated, did it hit the mark? This helps you actually validate your test outcomes, make sure the test was meaningful.
Got it. And security.
Paramount. How does the tool safeguard sensitive data? Does it help ensure compliance with regulations like GDPR or CCPA? You just can't compromise on that, period.
Data security is definitely, top of mind for everyone these days. What about the more practical sort of operational things?
Right. Beyond that, you'll need to check the hardware and software requirements, make sure it's compatible with your existing systems. You don't want any nasty surprises there. For outsourced projects, client preference can actually be a surprisingly big factor sometimes.
Yeah.
And always, always dig into company reviews. What are other users saying? Performance, reliability, any challenges they ran into. That's invaluable insight. Don't forget, training costs both time and money to get your team proficient. And reliable, accessible customer support is critical for when, inevitably, implementation or operational issues pop up.
Of course.
And the bottom line, license cost, it has to align with your budget and your overall business goals.
Okay, we've covered the crucial criteria. Now, this is where it gets really practical, looking at how different tools actually tackle these challenges. What's the first one that sort of stands out from our sources? What makes it unique in this landscape?
Yeah, let's talk about BlazeMeter. What really seems to distinguish it is its AI-powered data profiling.
AI-powered, okay.
And look, this isn't just a buzzword here. It intelligently learns patterns from small data samples to generate highly realistic variable data sets. This means your synthetic data isn't just sort of like real data, it's statistically representative, which is especially critical for things like performance tests where slight data variations can suddenly expose bottlenecks.
Oh, okay.
It also develops variable and flexible test data, synchronizes data for every test, whether that's the system under test or maybe mock services, and it offers continuous integration support, even for mobile app testing. So it's pretty robust.
That AI profiling does sound like a major step up for realism. But what about organizations wrestling with, massive interconnected data sets? That brings us to K2 View. It approaches this data challenge from a different angle, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. K2 View really seems to shine in its speed and efficiency, specifically in provisioning trusted test data. Its surgical data subsetting is fascinating. It means you're not just grabbing a random chunk of production data. Instead, it precisely identifies and extracts only the specific related data needed for a particular test scenario.
Like just one customer's entire history.
Exactly, just that customer's complete transaction history, maybe, without pulling the entire database. That capability, plus its ability to perform a rollback of test data that helps recreate complex production issues in potentially seconds.
Wow.
Plus, its in-flight data masking is a really powerful feature. Security happens as the data is being generated or moved, not as a separate step later on. This ensures sensitive information is never exposed unmasked, even for a moment.
That's clever.
Yeah. It's a real powerhouse for managing large volumes, keeping that referential context intact, and stopping data overwrites if you've got concurrent provisioning happening.
That sounds like a serious enterprise solution, especially for complex systems. But what if your needs are maybe a bit more focused, perhaps primarily within a specific database ecosystem? EMS Data Generator seems to offer a compelling answer for MySQL users, right?
Absolutely. For those working mainly with MySQL or maybe needing a more straightforward solution, EMS Data Generator is a strong contender. It's highlighted for its utility specifically with MySQL tables, supporting JSON data types, and offering the convenience of setting NUL values easily. You can even save and edit the generated data as in SQL script, which is a huge plus for iterative development.
Oh, that's handy.
Yeah, and it supports a wide range of specific MySQL data types, things like set, enum, even geometry. Its cost-effectiveness and user-friendliness make it pretty effective for both smaller databases and larger-scale operations, often without the massive overhead of some other systems.
Sounds like a solid specialized tool. Okay, shifting gears a bit, let's talk about DataMaker. What really caught my eye here in the notes was its AI-powered chatbot interface. Tell us more about that.
DataMaker is quite innovative, yeah, with that AI chatbot. Instead of configuring complex rules manually, you can simply describe the data you need in plain language, and it intelligently generates it.
Really, just describe it.
Seems so. That, combined with its no-code interface, makes it incredibly accessible, potentially lowering the technical bar for who can generate test data. Its instant data generation directly in the target system, and its broad integration structured, unstructured formats, even major enterprise platforms like SAP, ServiceNow, Workday, makes it pretty versatile. And crucially, it has built-in masking for GDPR compliance right out of the box. So it's highly suitable for environments where data privacy is a major concern from the start.
Describe the data, get the data. That is a compelling promise. And speaking of compliance and robust data protection, Informatica Test Data Management is another heavy hitter mentioned in our sources.
Definitely. Informatica Test Data Management, it really stands out for its automation of data identification and continuous masking across databases. The real challenge with continuous masking is ensuring data stays protected as it moves across different systems, different transformations.
Right, it's easy for things to slip through the cracks.
Exactly. Informatica aims to tackle this by creating a consistent masking scheme that applies dynamically, even as data moves or changes. The goal is to prevent any data leaks during that whole testing lifecycle. It also boasts pretty robust monitoring and compliance reporting features, and the ability to store, share, and reuse datasets is a significant advantage for larger teams. That drives efficiency and consistency in testing efforts.
Okay. Finally, let's briefly touch on a couple of perhaps more widely used, maybe more accessible tools, Mockaroo and generated data. What's their place in this whole ecosystem?
Yeah, these two, Mockaroo and generated data, they really highlight the breadth of flexibility available, especially for maybe quicker needs or very specific use cases. Mockaroo lets you rapidly create thousands, even millions of runs in various formats: JSON, CSV, Excel, SQL. It offers a wide range of data types and even mock API design capabilities, which is great for front-end development or basic integration testing.
Quick and easy mocking.
Pretty much. And then generated data, being open source, offers a lot of flexibility for creating custom data types. It has a simple interface designed for producing large volumes of very specific custom data. They're both excellent options for specific needs, from quick mocking to really bespoke data generation, maybe without needing the commitment of a full enterprise solution.
So we've just navigated a pretty comprehensive landscape here of test data generation tools. We've gone from their core definitions, why they're indispensable, through the critical factors for choosing one, and then a deep dive into specific examples. For anyone involved in software quality in development, understanding these options isn't just, helpful information. It provides a significant strategic advantage.
It really does. And this raises an important question, I think, for you, the listener. What's the broad impact of this technological shift? The choice of a test data generation tool, it directly influences your software reliability, your time to market, your security compliance posture. Choosing the right tool isn't just some technical decision tucked away in the IT department. It's really a strategic investment in creating better, more secure software faster. I mean, it can literally be the difference between hitting a release deadline with confidence and, struggling with those last-minute data headaches.
And there you have it. A deep dive into the world of test data generation tools. We've explored how they transform this challenge of testing into a real opportunity for efficiency and robustness. Whether you're prepping for a crucial meeting, catching up on the latest in your field, or maybe you're just driven by insatiable curiosity, we hope you now feel incredibly well-informed, ready to tackle the complexities of test data with some newfound clarity.
And as you continue to think about this, maybe consider this final thought. How will the increasing sophistication of AI, which we touched on, continue to transform test data generation itself? What new challenges and maybe what new opportunities will that bring, especially for ensuring data quality, privacy, and compliance in the, let's face it, increasingly complex software landscape of the future?
That's some serious food for thought. Armed with this more informed perspective, we definitely encourage you to continue exploring based on your specific needs. Until next time, keep diving deep.
City.